What's up, guys? Jamie here, and welcome to episode 6 of No Turning Back. We apologize that it is actually on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. Roz's birthday was on Friday, and when you have your birthday, you don't really immediately celebrate it on that day, but he was doing birthday stuff yesterday, and I was busy doing stuff, so that's why it's up today and not yesterday. And we're sorry it's up so late today, but we were busy also today doing other things as well. But before we get into anything, there's 7 days left until it will be 25 years of The Undertaker in WWE. So if you want to be a part of my video celebrating those 25 years, you only have 7 days left. And I will put the link that explains that all in the description as well as the email, which is Undertaker vid, it's like Undertaker vid 25 years at yahoo.com. And basically what it is, it's going to be either you making a video celebrating the 25 years, talking about your favorite memories, or, anything supporting and thanking Taker. If you don't want to show your face, you can do an edit or a sign or something. So all that I'll explain in the video that I did. But anyway, as always, I'm with my co-host. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? I'm Razman's Reality, and Link is in the chat. We're getting this down. We are way more prepared than last week. But yeah, it just last week just to be funny for you guys and gals out there. Last week, I was trying to get the link after we had, or trying to find your channel after we went live, and I'm like, no, your channel is going to be up, been in a tag, ready for you to go live, so I can hit refresh and find it
right
away, so we can let you guys know that we're here. But yeah, man, boy, what we said it last week with Fort Minor when he was guesting with us,
right,
that this was gonna be a whole bunch of craziness once we found out how WWE was gonna handle Seth Rollins' injury. And let's just say that there was a total of two other things on Raw that was not the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. That's how much this entire thing has changed everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because of so many people being out or injured, they just completely had to change everything pretty much, because there's either not enough people to feud with, or they've just literally had to change the entire landscape.
Yeah, like, for example, I mean, we're kind of jumping ahead to what was announced on SmackDown, but it just flows with the conversation. They had to make the decision to turn it into a tag team match at Survivor Series. Yeah, between Taker and Kane and the Wyatts, rather than a 4-on-4, because they probably literally are like, we don't know who else to put beside Undertaker and Kane that look like they belong beside Undertaker and Kane 1.
Right. And makes sense.
Yeah. And
it isn't just some random group put together, and also who are credible enough to be with those two. But not only that, though, there's literally nobody left. And if there is, like, Randy can't, because I don't know if he's still hurt, but he got married. Then Dean and anyone else are in different feuds because they had to replace what was supposed to happen before Seth got hurt. So they had to change those storylines and end up feuding. But I am a bit disappointed, but regardless, I'm still very excited to see him wrestle, period. But I guess it kind of flows with the conversation. But like we were talking about before, who do you think will be the two Wyatt members? And whatever you were saying, you could finish too.
Well, I was gonna. That's all right. I was just going what you had already said about making sense. That was my second key. Was that it had to be somebody storyline wise that would have made sense. So I can't really blame them, but I think it would have been way more interesting to have 4-on-4, because now you do have two Wyatt family members that are left out of the equation, and it makes for a tough choice. But really, logically, when you talk about a 2-on-2 match, it can only either be Luke Harper, who I think it should be because he is the strongest original member. He's the best technical wrestler in that group. He's a better technical wrestler than Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's a heck of an entertainer, but he can't wrestle as good as Luke Harper. So for that reason alone, it should be him. But I'm
Can I
more,
add something?
yeah. Well, I think we're about to say the
I
same
think,
thing.
yeah, I think, like we were just talking about it. I think it'll be Bray Wyatt. You know, I think that's an obvious one. And then I think it'll be Braun Strowman simply because, you know, they're high on him right now. And some because of the fact that also Undertaker just works. He works really well with really big guys. I mean, most people when they fight a big guy, it's like a very sloppy match. But honestly, he works really well with big guys. And also, I think if rumors are right, which I don't want to see it, but that they're leaning towards more of Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But go ahead, what you were going to say.
Right. Well, I was just, I was saying that was my only other logical pick is Braun Strowman. And I'm actually leaning more toward Braun Strowman as the choice because it just makes the most sense right now. So,
one more thing before if we go into anything else, and I keep interrupting you, I feel bad. But I forgot, what was I going to say? I wish it was 4-on-4 because, you know, it would benefit the whole entire Wyatt family. But like at the same time, like they're pretty much scrounging for people because so many people are gone from the roster. But just wanted to add that. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I was going to say there's not really much else to add about. I mean, I know Taker's your favorite. You got the whole video happening. You got Undertaker week on WWE Network. So I'm sure we're not going to be done talking about Undertaker before we sign off. But there's really not much else to add to that. So I think we should talk a lot about the tournament itself. What did you think of the brackets and the matches on Raw? I thought because of this tournament happening, that was the strongest bell-to-bell Raw in a long time. We always talk about how 3 hours of Raw feels like there's nothing to do for 3 hours.
I think those matches made it go by a lot smoother because there were some really good matches. You know, Dean wrestled, right, and then Ziggler wrestled, and a bunch of other younger talent wrestled too. And I just thought that they were actually pretty good matches too. Yeah, and it wasn't like dragging by either, like it normally does.
It was honestly the first time in about 3 months that I can remember not having to fast forward through a single match on Raw because of predictability.
Right, I agree with that. Normally, I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's 2 hours left. It just started because one of the times we talked about it. It was like a main event type of match that literally was in the first hour of Raw, and I'm not even joking you. I thought that Raw was ending, and I was like, it's only 9:38. We have 2 more hours to go.
Yeah, it was the Dolph Ziggler John Cena U.S. Open Challenge match. That was what that match was.
Right, but no, they also, what I think we need to add is if they're gonna make this good, they can't make it predictable that Roman Reigns is going to win. They really need to do, not like a swerve, but they really need to do something totally unpredictable. And if they're smart, they'll let someone else win. And I know you really wanted to talk about that because we were talking about all this before.
We always try to prepare for when we come on the air. Plus, you know, that's our number one bond. We have a bunch of other things that make up our friendship, but we can't sit down together without talking wrestling. It just comes out. So my whole thing is, you know, we kind of have to make predictions, but because of the way the landscape has changed, the only thing to predict for Survivor Series is literally who will be WWE champion, who's going to retain the Divas title, or who's going to win the Divas title match, rather, which is obviously going to be Charlotte retaining, and who's going to be Bray Wyatt's partner, which we've already talked about. And obviously Taker and Kane are going to win that match because you can't have Taker lose on his 25-year anniversary.
That's true. But I also could see them doing it because Undertaker's old school, that I could see him putting Bray Wyatt in them over simply
You
because that's
could,
how
I could
Undertaker
see,
is.
I could see that, but I'm not leaning that way. I think he's already,
No, but you know what I mean? Like with
yeah,
like when it was feuding with Brock Lesnar, it's like Brock Lesnar should win, but do we really want Brock Lesnar to win? Not really. They probably should win, but do we want them to win? No. Would it benefit them to win? Probably. But like you're not gonna have Undertaker lose on his 25 years. Like that's such a huge milestone anyway.
right. Well, they kind of messed up the brackets. Getting back to the tournament, they kind of messed up the brackets and what I would have preferred to see because I would have preferred to see a semifinals between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, and then Roman Reigns and Tyler Breeze. I think Tyler Breeze just coming out of nowhere, becoming relevant like he has been, or not. Sorry, not Tyler Breeze. I meant to say Tyler Breeze versus Cesaro. Cesaro beat Tyler Breeze, and then have Cesaro versus Reigns in the final. But since that's already happening in the semifinal on Raw, it's obvious that unfortunately Cesaro gets knocked out of this tournament because Roman Reigns is going to be in the finals. So my prediction is the finals of the tournament is going to be Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens. And if WWE was smart, they put the title on Kevin Owens. I know Kevin Owens is Intercontinental Champion, but the main thing WWE lost when they lost Seth Rollins is they lost their number one antagonist. They need an antagonist. They need a top heel. Heels are much more interesting champions, and it would be something so unexpected to have Kevin Owens simultaneously, at least for that 24-hour period at that pay-per-view, hold the Intercontinental and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That hasn't happened since the Ultimate Warrior, the late great Ultimate Warrior, at WrestleMania 6.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't want this to be predictable, if they want this to be interesting, they can't have Roman win. But if we're talking about WWE, so sometimes like a lot of the time they don't have a brain, so they might just go towards Roman Reigns,
Yeah, but
probably.
that's my bold prediction is Kevin Owens walks out as WWE World Heavyweight Champion because storyline wise it would make sense too because of the promo we saw on Raw. Triple H could say, you didn't want to sell out Roman, well guess what, this guy did. And everybody knows that Kevin Owens is Triple H's guy from his time getting fast-tracked in NXT anyway. So it just all fits. But what's your take on it? Who would you like to see walk out as WWE
Honestly,
World Heavyweight Champion?
I would like to see Kevin. As much as I love Roman Reigns, like that's too predictable. So I hope they give us with a totally different direction and like something we don't expect. But when you said about Cesaro getting eliminated, I hope not. I really like Cesaro. I really like Ziggler. I really like Cesaro. I really like Kevin Owens. I really would like a younger talent to win and benefit. But I know what you mean, so.
But the problem is that they've already announced that the brackets are going to be on Raw to create the semifinals. The brackets are going to be Cesaro versus Roman Reigns.
Oh, so yeah, and then obviously Roman would win.
Roman has to win. He just has to.
Suck. But I do like, kind of getting sidetracked, how those wrestlers are actually being used instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of being irrelevant.
Right. And I think that if they do it right and they do make that first semifinal match, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens, that match is going to steal that entire show.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
People don't realize how good of a
That's what I also was going to say, like Dean versus, if Roman's not going to win, I want to see Dean versus Roman, but if Kevin wins, that would be great to see Dean versus Kevin. But like to answer your question, probably Kevin or any of the, talent that I mentioned before.
Well, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, though.
I'm sorry. I was going to say Dean would be another smart pick,
yeah.
For something out of left field and unexpected because he is a tremendous, solid singles wrestler. I think it's easy to forget how good Dean Ambrose really is because they kind of give him.
Say that too.
Yeah, because they kind of give him a middle of the road push, or they have been. He's just kind of been like sitting there as Roman Reigns' partner lately. He hasn't really got a chance to shine. So.
Right. Yeah, you're right. That wouldn't be predictable either because we're all so focused on Roman and then Dean comes and wins it,
Right, Dean gets the championship before Roman. Maybe that makes Roman turn heel. Maybe Dean turns heel to make sure he gets the championship before Roman. There would be a lot of possibilities there. The only other guy that I could remotely see would be Alberto Del Rio, but I don't think his reaction from the crowd is strong enough right now for them to want to put it on him. Agree or disagree?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I was trying to put up the link.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I thought you'd already done that. That's why I was looking down earlier for the viewers. I was looking down my phone trying to find her tweet of the link, and she hadn't
Yeah,
sent
no,
it.
I was just posting it to my other social media. But go. What was the question?
And there is the notification about it, so I'll retweet it in a second. But the question was agree or disagree that the only other guy that I could maybe see them putting it on would be Alberto Del Rio, but I don't think Del Rio's reaction has been as strong as they would hope for from the crowd.
Yeah, and plus he's in another storyline right now anyway, so I don't think they would put it on him. But yes, I do agree to that. Maybe.
But I think he could be Roman's opponent in the other semifinal
He
match.
could, because they're also high on him too since he's been back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio and Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens in the semifinals of Survivor Series.
Don't you hate it when like all wrestlers that you really like are like all in the same match and you're like, I want him to win, but I also want him to win, but it would benefit him if he won, but like I want him to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest problem with this tournament is that
I genuinely like everybody, and it's so unfair because I like Ziggler, I like Cesaro, and I'm like, no, I want them to get a big push, but it's like, no, I like Kevin too, but I like Dean, and it's like, go ahead.
I think the big shock we didn't get big huge surprise that we had a left field names, but we did get one shock on SmackDown. That was Kalisto cleanly beating Ryback to move on in the tournament.
That's one of the things I actually paid attention to, and partly because Undertaker's voice was on SmackDown. So
yes, well, but I was really surprised by that. I could see Kalisto becoming the next Rey Mysterio if they use him right. So that was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, I'm gonna go out. I'd say either if Kevin Owens doesn't win it, obviously it's gonna be Roman Reigns. I'm gonna go with Taker and Kane, even though, like you said, it could go the other way. And I'm gonna go with Charlotte to retain the title. And that's literally the only things we've seen advertised for Survivor Series. If for some
so far, right?
Yeah, but it's only a week away, so I think the tournament matches are going to be the bulk of the show. I don't see the semifinals and the final matches being short.
No. And plus, obviously, everybody's looking forward to the Brothers of Destruction versus two people in the Wyatt family.
Yeah. So if we're screwing up, folks, let us know in the comments. We might try to come on here before Sunday and be like, hey, we forgot something, so here's our one prediction on this one match. But I'm pretty sure because of this tournament, they just haven't advertised anything else. So
it's really based around Undertaker's 25 years. So I mean,
Yes. And it's gonna be really cool to see. I'm really looking forward to Undertaker Week on WWE Network.
Me too.
Obviously. So I'm really looking forward to all of that, and yeah, it's gonna be a pretty cool week. NXT was kind of unexpected because it was a full heel turn for Samoa Joe. Like he blamed Finn Balor for what William Regal did.
Didn't we kind of call that? We were kind of predicting, do we think he'll go after the title or do you think he'll have a full-blown heel turn? Weren't we talking about that in one of the No Turning Back episodes?
Yeah, and then David said it was a full heel turn, and then I thought, well, maybe it might not be. So
I said both. I said I could see both.
Yeah, so credit to David for actually fully getting behind the fact that it was a full heel turn. And then, of course, the other big thing was that we saw, well, the two other big things. Alexa Bliss stole the title to further that storyline. I thought that was an interesting twist there. And then the really, really shocking thing was on a non-pay-per-view taped, promoted episode of NXT other than
The
just
tag titles, right?
yeah, just the loyalists to NXT that knew about it. The tag title match and Dash and Dawson beat the Vaudevillains to
So
become.
like we were saying before, I guess that means they're moving up.
Yeah, I hope the Vaudevillains get called up now. I really do, because they deserve to be called up. There's as close to an NXT original as you can have as a team because they've been there virtually since the beginning of
For a while.
the run of WWE Network with NXT. So I hope that they get called up really soon. I hope they're used well, unlike the Ascension, who went absolutely nowhere, and then they're coming
They
back.
got booked pretty bad on.
Yeah, they're coming back to accept the challenge of Dash and Dawson, and you're like, aren't they supposed to be on the main roster? That's literally what you said.
Yeah, I know. Not even joking. Right before we came on here, I was like, because we were catching up on something, and I was like, weren't they on the main roster or what happened to them? And I mean, I know it's not their fault because that's the way they were booked, but we were like not even joking, just talking about that before we came on here.
Right.
But I do like how NXT though benefits people down there. It just sucks when they get to the main roster; they're not sometimes used correctly.
Yeah, and the Ascension's the biggest example of that. So that's my fear for the Vaudevillains that they're gonna fall into that.
I was just about to say, like, they're great on NXT, but will people, like, the way they're booked, or people will, you know what I mean, like, really care when they're up there?
Well, you can't point to the reaction that they got at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. They got over huge there. But that was, even though it was 5,000 people, it was still mostly a hardcore NXT crowd.
True.
Like, you're not going to go see an NXT show unless you know who all those people are.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When they go to the roster, you have a lot of, not all, but you have some of the casual fans in the crowd too, so they might not exactly know. And then with WWE's booking, they might just think it's two random guys that, you know, are up on the roster now. They might not know that they were the tag titles in NXT.
Yeah. But, so kind of a short episode because.
But I just wanted to add, well, we kind of already talked about it. But the only good thing on SmackDown was Undertaker's voice in the Wyatt family, and then the match that you mentioned before on there. Was he really the only good thing?
Still got her upsetting right back in the tournament, yeah. So I was going to say just kind of a shorter episode, but really this tournament just makes it easier in a way to discuss. You don't have to sit there and discuss for 45 minutes to an hour because there's not as much to talk about except trying to move forward with storylines. So I can't really think of anything else to talk about right now. Can you?
Not really. I think most of what we want to talk about will be on Saturday because that'll be kind of like the conclusion, and then Survivor Series the next day. So, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, we could have waited until like the day before Survivor Series, but I didn't want to be like the last ones making predictions. But like as Jamie said, if the landscape completely changes on Raw and SmackDown for some strange reason, we will come back and adjust these predictions. But I'll repeat it next week just so people are aware. But I just want to make this clear to my social media people, because I'm usually very active on pay-per-view Sundays. But unfortunately, the NFL had to screw up and move my Cincinnati Bengals to Sunday Night Football the same night as Survivor Series, which means that I will have to on-demand the pay-per-view for the first time since the beginning of WWE Network, which really is terrible, but I don't have a choice because I can't do two things at once. So I'm going to have to go on a social media blackout the night of Survivor Series. So don't think that something happened to me. Don't think I'm in trouble. Don't think I'm aggravated at the pay-per-view. Like, I literally cannot tweet about it because I will not be seeing it until then.
I'm having a dilemma, too, because The Walking Dead's on during then, too. And I can't not watch The Walking Dead, but I can't miss The Undertaker. Like, that's his whole day right there. Obviously, I'm going to choose WWE because WWE is always first for me because I've been watching it forever, and The Walking Dead's only been around for 5 years. But I
Right.
mean, of course, I will watch The Walking Dead, just not 9 o'clock on that time slot. Or I might do what I did last pay-per-view, but then again, like, the whole pay-per-view is Undertaker related, so. But I'll figure something out, and Raz is having the same dilemma with his shows.
Well, yeah,
And I can't miss The Undertaker, so.
And the thing is, football fans, they know why you can't miss a Bengals game right now because of what the Bengals are doing, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to jinx anything. So, yeah. So with that, I guess that wraps up another edition of No Turning Back. Sorry, Jamie, for not being able to get out the tweet live, but I'll go and tweet it right now for people to watch the replay and all that goodness. So everybody take care, I guess, and we will see you on Saturday.
Next Saturday, oh my gosh, all Undertaker week and Undertaker everything, and he
Yes.
was on SmackDown.
Yeah, we'll have all
and, well, kind of on SmackDown. He was on Raw, and he's going to be on Raw this Monday too. I am in love.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out because we're going
to talk more about that on Saturday. There's going to be more to talk about next week anyway.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we'll have to figure out a way. Are we going to try and watch all those Undertaker specials together? Because if we are, we're going to have to be up at like 9 a.m. on Saturday to get all that done.
I didn't wake up until like 9:30, 10 a.m. Yes, today, but we'll try and look.
Yeah,
but I think I'm going to react to The Undertaker on Monday and as well for the pay-per-view on Sunday. Just like not the whole pay-per-view, but just the stuff that shows him.
Unfortunately,
and the actual match.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be a part of that reaction this time because I'm going to be in attendance at Bengals versus Texans on Monday Night Football.
Have fun. But yeah, you guys will get to enjoy me reacting on this Monday and then reacting to Survivor Series because it'll be his 25 years and his actual match. It'll be cut up, though. It won't be like the whole 3 hours, but...
Yeah. You know. Well, I will have fun, and I think we rambled too much again. We really got... every time we think we're going to sign off, we end up rambling for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I can't help it. When we watch when Undertaker's mentioned, I could go on for hours on end. Actually, I could probably talk about him 24 hours a day, which I do. But anyway, before we go on too much, don't forget to send in your stuff for the Undertaker video. That goes for you, too, Mr. Raz. But
yes, I'm gonna
all our links are in the description. Every link. If I forget something, please let me know. Like, none of our social media... anything happened to it. It's just I probably forgot to put it in the description.
Yeah,
but all our stuff is down below. Just read this description and anything else before I
yeah, we did. I was gonna just echo that. We did forget. We did have some miscommunication there last week, but you got to remember when this is live. If you're watching this live, Jamie can't fix the description live. She has to wait for the video archive to be able to do that. So just give her some time to get everything up, and everything will be up. So with that, we're out. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I don't want you to. Okay, bye.
Bye.